This is video 2 in a series where I'm going to show you guys how to rank locally on Google automatically. That's right, just by running your business, you're going to be beating out your competitors. And you might be asking, whoa, how is this even possible? Well, because you have the Zampi tool set. Now, if you don't know what Zampi is simply a digital marketing suite built for small businesses and marketing agencies. So I want you guys to go sign up for a free account right now so you guys can follow along with this tutorial and start automatically ranking your business for local SEO. Okay, so let's dive in. The very first thing that you guys are going to need to do is to do the groundwork. And that means an overview of what tools you will need to rank on Google locally. But before we jump into that, right, you got the tools, we need to know what the tools are going to be fixing, right? So let's talk about local SEO. What is local SEO? Well, local SEO is simply showing up when someone makes a local search. Did you guys know that about 50% of searches on Google have local intent? That's a ton of searches. And if you're not ranking locally, you're missing out on a ton of opportunity. Now, obviously, there are so many factors that go into ranking on Google, but if we focus on just 3, you have a really good chance of beating out your competitors because there are 3 that are most important. So what are these 3? Number 1 is the strength of your website, how credible your website is, okay? Now, if you're like, strength of my website, like a website's a website, whoa. No, it's not. Every website is different. Depends if you're talking to Google, Bing, Yahoo. They all rank your website differently, and you need to have a good foundation of how to build up the strength of your website so Google knows that you're a trustworthy website and it's okay to send Google's traffic to your website. So if you have no idea how to do that, click this little link above. I don't know what site it is on, but click that little link and we're going to take you over to our course all on SEO so you can learn about domain authority, domain ranking, and domain score, and how to build up the strength of your website, okay? So that is number 1, the strength of your website. Number 2 is how many reviews you have and the quality of reviews you have, right? Have you ever noticed why there's some people on Google with like over 500 5-star reviews and they're beating everybody out? That's because Google knows that they are trustworthy. They love sending their customers to sites that are trustworthy because they're going to be happy. Okay, now number 3 is how close your business is to the customer who pulled out their phone and searched. Okay, because Google knows that if you go outside of a 5-mile radius, the chance of that customer visiting that store drops significantly. The closer you are to the customer, the higher chance that customer is going to order from you. Google has done tons of studies on this and it is true. So we're gonna dive in and in this video right here, I'm not gonna make you guys jump to another video, and we're gonna cover why these 3 things are the most important. So number 1, the strength of your website. So, okay, do you guys remember my little analogy about websites and SEO is basically just a high school popularity contest, right? If you don't remember that, go watch that video. It's right here. Click on it, okay? But if you do remember, you know that Google has to know if a website is trustworthy or if they're popular, right? Because Google's main business model is attracting a bunch of people, right? People choose Google over Yahoo and Bing. They're attracting a bunch of people and they're going to tell them where they want to go. That's all it is, right? If you guys seen Ralph Breaks the Internet, there's literally a personification of Google in that movie. They just tell you information. People come to Google and Google sends them away. So you have to make sure that Google can trust you because Google doesn't want to take its customers and send them to spammy websites. It wants to send them to trustworthy websites. And the reason why is because if Google starts sending their customers to bad websites, well, people are going to stop choosing Google. They're going to start going towards Yahoo or Bing instead of Google. And that's why it's important to have a high domain ranking, domain score, domain authority, depending on what SEO tool you use. At Zampi, we use domain score, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is the number of reviews. That's pretty self-explanatory. The more reviews you have and the higher they are, Google simply just compares apples to apples and says, hey, business A is killing it. People love going there. If we send them there, there's a good chance that they're going to be happy. Google B, on the other hand, has 3.5-star reviews. They don't have that many. They don't respond to the reviews or anything like that. So we're gonna send them to option A that has 5-star reviews and over 500 reviews, right? It just makes sense. Okay, now number 3 is how close you are to your customer. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you guys to just, cancel your lease contract and go get a new office building. That would be expensive, but there are tricks on how you can become closer to your customers when they're searching to show up, okay? And now a couple of those are, you can open up multiple locations, right? If you have friends that own different businesses and different offices, see if you can rent a mailbox from them, right? And 10, 15 bucks a month, whatever they're gonna charge you, and open up a mail location, and you can get that listed on Google and have multiple locations all throughout the town. Now you gotta be careful on this, because if you or your client have businesses where people actually go to, you do not wanna be sending people to mailboxes, right? So you got to kind of weigh this, and maybe next time your lease is up, you do look for a new location just so you can show up on Google. No, that'd be crazy. That'd be ridiculous. Okay, so next video, we're going to be covering all of the tools and how you can automate these 3 things. Let's dive in.